You know, we've been doing this program for almost 10 years now, since 2007. And it started because at the time I was doing sales and sales management and going through a lot of the training programs that are available out in the market. And there's dozens of them. There's hundreds of choices you can make. And a lot of those people we were bringing in would come in and do these 2-day workshops. But there's problems with that. I mean, the model doesn't work. We don't retain information as people. When you go to a training class and it's a 2-day workshop, you dump 90 to 95% of the information within the next 24 hours, 48 hours at the most. I like to go into what I call the pit of despair, where the things you think you learned and the changes you want to make, you're all excited about when you walk out of the class, but then what do you do about it? Like, how do you make that come together in the future? So ML Methods was created to be a solution. It was created to be another way of looking at things and approaching things. And we use the social media to reach out and connect with people. But what we're really trying to do is build a model that teaches people in the way they learn. And we do experiential. We get outside. We play games. Games on the tables where they're making real decisions. And when you've worked the map table with the toy tanks, you understand if you've been through the program. But the other big part of it is, instead of trying to cram everything into 2 days, instead of doing everything in a 4-hour thing and then slapping the table and saying, cool, now we've got leadership. I mean, we work with our clients for a long time. I mean, the goal is to get behavioral change. The goal is to get people to change the way they frame and think about things. It's to build a real pipeline of leadership. It's not to check a box and say that you did learning and development. So we built a program that takes months. I mean, it could be 6 months, could be an entire year that you're engaged with your people. But they're in vignettes. I mean, they study and they learn by doing little bits of experiential things, by touching a little bit of learning, and then getting into application. Like, how do you take an idea and actually apply it someplace? And once you've applied it, how do you get the business outcomes? Well, all the training in the world is great, but if it doesn't produce something, if it doesn't cut your costs or add to the revenue bottom line, if it doesn't grow your people to increase retention, why are you doing it? I mean, why spend the time and the energy? And this is all about growing people. This is about true growth. It's not about training. It's not about a class. It's about getting your folks to think better so that you can retain the best, so you get to pick and choose. So we changed the model, and we're reaching out to people and trying to get that story out, because I think the model's better. You have to change the way you think about the training. And we use 60-30-10 in a lot of the things that we do. 60% of the stuff we do is hands-on. You've got to get people engaged in exercises, scenario-based discussions, tactical decision games. So we get up on the table, we stand in front of the class, we do exercises outside. 30% of the stuff should be feedback related. So it's group discussions, it's mentorship, it's consulting, it's going back and forth with ideas. Feedback. And then the last 10%, that's new information. And you can get new information all over the place. We bring you bite-sized chunks of things that are important, both at the elementary introduction level, if you're doing a new leaders format, or at the senior executive level, if you want to talk MBA level stuff. It's all there. But it can't be a class of PowerPoints. It's got to be a class of doing something. And so since 2007, we've been crafting and building these things. And through social media, through YouTube, we're trying to connect with people and get the message out that training's different. Training needs to be run by operations. Training needs to be run by innovators. This changes what people learn. And when you get into the pit of despair after the first class, there's follow-up, there's application. Because now you can finish your class and you can start to forget things, but you're going to build your neural pathways because you got a mentorship call to get on. You've got new information and other resources to tap into. And so instead of doing a class on leadership, you change the way people think about it and the discussions that happen because of that. And, we're working to change the industry, and that change is overdue. But what it's going to do is it's going to get people to connect with their companies, and it's going to take people and create a real leadership pipeline, giving companies options on how to grow their folks, how to retain the best of their folks, and get more done. And that's what we're all about. And it works, which is kind of nice.